Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to welcome you to today's presentation. We'll be discussing the safety training for working at height based on our IMS document. This is part of the SDRABAG and Zublin Abu Dhabi and Dubai Integrated Management System. Over the next few minutes, we'll cover key safety procedures, training requirements, and best practices to ensure everyone stays safe when working at heights. Let's get started. Welcome, everyone. By the end of this session, you will have a clear understanding of several important topics. First, we will define what working at height actually means. Then, we'll discuss the common hazards associated with working at height so you know what to look out for. We'll also cover fall prevention and fall protection measures to keep you safe. Understanding how to properly use and inspect a full body harness is crucial, so we'll go through that in detail. Additionally, we'll emphasize the importance of 100% tie-off to prevent falls. Finally, we'll review the roles and responsibilities each of us has when working at height. I encourage you all to ask questions throughout the training. Your safety depends on it. Remember, working at height is a significant risk, but with the right knowledge and precautions, we can minimize those risks effectively. Falls are actually the leading cause of deaths in the construction industry, which is a sobering reality. Most of these fatalities happen when workers fall from open-sided floors or through floor openings. It's important to understand that even falls from as little as 4 to 6 feet can result in serious injuries, or in some cases, be fatal. That's why working at height requires our full attention and proper safety measures. Remember, any work above 1.8 meters is considered working at height, and that's when the risks increase significantly. So, staying aware of these dangers helps us stay safe and prevent tragedies on site. Today, we're going to talk about the concept of working at height. So, what exactly does that mean? Well, working at height refers to any situation where a person is working in a place where a fall could cause injury. This includes areas that are above ground level, but it's important to note that it does not include staircases in a permanent workplace. The key idea here is that if there's a risk of falling and getting hurt, then it's considered working at height. Understanding this is crucial because it helps us identify potential hazards before we even start working. Whether you're on a ladder, a roof, or any elevated platform, safety measures become a priority. Remember, the focus is on places where a fall could happen and cause injury, even if it's at or below ground level, as long as there's a risk involved. Keeping this in mind helps us create a safer working environment and ensures we're prepared to manage the risks associated with working at height. Let's take a closer look at working at height, which is a common but high-risk activity on many sites. The main hazards here include the risk of falling of persons from height, which can lead to serious injuries or worse. We also need to be aware of the fall of material from height, which can pose dangers to anyone below. Another critical point is poor working platforms. If these aren't stable or properly constructed, they can give way unexpectedly. And we can't forget about structural collapse, which can happen if the support structures aren't sound or properly maintained. All of these hazards emphasize the importance of thorough planning, proper safety measures, and constant vigilance when working at height. It's essential to prevent falls, secure materials, and ensure structural integrity to keep everyone safe and avoid accidents. This ties into the overall theme of safety management that runs throughout this presentation. All right, let's talk about some key precautions when working at height. First, it's essential to use a permit to work system whenever required. This helps ensure all safety aspects are properly managed before starting work. Next, dedicated training is a must. Only trained personnel should perform tasks at height to minimize risks. Close supervision is also important. Having someone oversee the work adds an extra layer of safety. Provision of fall protection is critical. Things like guardrails or safety barriers help prevent falls in the first place. Additionally, personal fall arrest systems, such as harnesses, are essential for individual safety when working in higher-risk areas. While climbing ladders, always remember the 3-point contact rule. Keep 3 points of contact with the ladder at all times to maintain stability. And of course, never overload working platforms. Overloading can compromise stability and increase the risk of accidents. Overall, these precautions are about creating a safe environment and reducing risks when working at height. It's all about being proactive and vigilant to keep ourselves safe at all times. On this slide, we're focusing on falling objects and how serious a risk they can pose. Objects falling from a height can cause significant injuries to people and also damage equipment. That's why it's so important to take preventive measures. So, how can we prevent falling objects from becoming a hazard? First, good housekeeping is essential. Keeping work areas tidy reduces the chance of objects falling or being accidentally knocked over. Next, proper storage practices are key, storing tools and materials securely so they don't fall. Covering all unprotected edges is another critical step. This helps prevent tools or materials from falling off ledges or open surfaces. When carrying tools, always use a hands-free approved tool bag. This keeps your hands free and your tools secure, reducing the risk of dropping them. Also, avoid using buckets with wire handles for lifting tools or materials. These can easily slip or cause injury if they fall. And finally, always set up adequate barricades and warning signs around areas where work at height is happening. This alerts everyone to the potential danger and helps keep people safe. Remember, the overall goal is to minimize the risk of objects falling and causing harm. By following these simple but effective practices, we can create a safer workspace for everyone. On this slide, we're looking at the full body harness, specifically the version with a double lanyard and a single shock absorber. These harnesses come equipped with self-locking, double-action snap hooks to ensure safety and security during use. It's important to remember that a full body harness is required whenever work is being done at or above 1.8 meters. Now, why is this height so critical? Well, if a worker risks falling from a height of 1.8 meters or greater, the harness becomes essential in preventing serious injury. Also, even if the fall is less than 1.8 meters, it could still cause harm, especially if the fall is sudden or awkward. This ties directly into our overall theme of working safely at height. Proper fall protection isn't just about compliance, it's about protecting ourselves from potential injuries. Always ensure you're wearing the correct harness and using it properly whenever you're working at these heights. Today, I'll be talking about the full body harness and some critical safety points when working at height. The harness itself features a 5-point strap system, which is designed to provide maximum support and security. It includes 2 lanyards and an integrated shock absorber, which helps to reduce the force exerted on the body in the event of a fall. The purpose of this setup is to evenly distribute the shock load and fall arrest force across key areas of the body, namely the shoulders, thighs, pelvis, waist, and chest, helping to minimize injury risk. It's important to note that the D-ring, which is the attachment point for the lanyard, should always be positioned on the upper back, centrally between the shoulders. This positioning ensures proper load distribution and safety. The lanyard itself acts as a fall arrest mechanism. It must be capable of withstanding a load of 5,000 pounds, which is a critical safety requirement. Typically, the lanyard is about 1.8 meters long and at least 1.25 centimeters, or 2 inches, wide, providing both strength and flexibility. And here's a key point. Always connect one lanyard before you start moving. This ensures you have 100% fall protection at all times. Never leave yourself unprotected. Remember, falling from height can be deadly. For context, a fall from just 30 meters can result in impact speeds of around 70 kilometers per hour, often leading to fatal injuries. So, when working at height, safety isn't just about compliance, it's about protecting your life. Always stay secured, stay aware, and follow these safety principles diligently. Let's walk through how to calculate the fall distance for working at height. First, the lanyard length of the anchorage connector is typically 1.8 meters, which is about 6 feet. Next, we consider the deceleration or free fall distance, which is the shock absorber distance, roughly 1.1 meters or about 3.5 feet. Then, we account for the worker's height displacement and the stretch of the harness, again around 1.8 meters or 6 feet. We also need to include a safety factor of about 0.9 meters, or 3 feet, to ensure enough clearance. When we add all these components together, the lanyard, deceleration distance, harness stretch, and safety margin, we arrive at a total fall clearance distance of approximately 5.6 meters, or roughly 18.4 feet. This calculation is crucial because it helps us determine the minimum safe clearance needed to prevent injury if a fall occurs. Remember, always use typical measurements like 1.8 meters for the lanyard as a standard, but actual site conditions may vary. So, understanding and calculating this fall distance ensures we're working safely at height and maintaining proper fall protection. Now, let's take a look at the scaffolding structure, specifically the stable structure. As we progress to slide 11, it's important to understand the role of the independent lifeline and its anchor point. The anchor point is essentially a secure attachment point for lifelines, lanyards, or deceleration devices. Think of it as the anchor that keeps everything safely connected. For fall arrest systems, these anchor points must be incredibly strong. They need to support at least 5,000 pounds, which is about 2,200 kilograms or 22 kilonewtons. This ensures that in the event of a fall, the anchor can withstand the force and prevent failure. Remember, when working at height, safety is all about reliable connections and solid support. The integrity of these anchor points is crucial to protecting workers and maintaining the overall stability of the scaffolding system. So, always verify that your anchor points meet these strength requirements. It's a key part of a safe working environment. Let's talk about anchor points first. It's really important to always position your anchor point above your shoulder. Why? Because this helps to reduce the impact if you happen to fall. Having the anchor above your shoulder means that when you fall, the force is directed upwards, which minimizes the strain on your body and keeps you safer. Now, moving on to working at height. This is a critical area where safety really matters. Always ensure your harness and fall protection systems are properly secured to an anchor point that's above shoulder level. This setup is essential to prevent injury and to keep you safe if a fall occurs. Remember, the key takeaway here is that your anchor point's position plays a vital role in fall safety. It's about making smart choices to protect yourself and others. Always double-check your anchor points and your equipment before starting work at height. Safety isn't just a policy, it's a personal responsibility. Today, I want to talk about the horizontal lifeline, which is a key component when working at height. A horizontal lifeline is essentially an anchoring wire rope that is rigged between two fixed points. Its main purpose is to provide a secure line to which a person can attach their full body harness or drop line. This allows for safe movement along a long stretch, whether you're moving horizontally or vertically. The idea is to facilitate safe movement across large areas at height, reducing the risk of falls. By anchoring to a stable point on each end, the lifeline creates a secure pathway. When you're working in elevated environments, using a horizontal lifeline ensures that you can move freely while staying protected. It's a crucial safety measure that connects the overall theme of working safely at height, emphasizing the importance of proper anchoring and continuous protection. Let's talk about recognizing potential fall hazards. Essentially, any area where there's exposure to fall risks, but no primary fall protection devices in place, is a concern. These are the zones we need to pay close attention to. When employees are working in these areas, fall protection becomes essential. Specifically, this includes unprotected sides and edges. Think of those open sides on a platform or rooftop without guardrails. Also, scaffolds and unsecured platforms pose risks if they're not properly stabilized. Walkways and ramps are another common area, anywhere people are walking at height without proper barriers. Floor and wall openings are also critical. These should always be covered or guarded to prevent accidental falls. Steep or low-slope roofs can be hazardous, especially if proper fall arrest systems aren't used. Excavations, sewers, and pits are often overlooked but dangerous if not properly protected. Lastly, precast concrete and skeletal racks. These structures can be unstable or have fall risk if not handled carefully. Now, when it comes to working at height, the key takeaway is that identifying these areas is just the first step. Ensuring that the right fall protection measures are in place is what keeps everyone safe. It's about understanding the risks and proactively managing them. Remember, fall hazards are among the most serious risks on site, and proper awareness and precautions are vital to prevent accidents. Today, I want to highlight a critical safety concern: unprotected edges when working at height. As you can see on this slide, the risks associated with working near unprotected edges are significant. Falling from heights can lead to serious injuries or even fatalities, so it's essential to recognize the dangers and take proper precautions. Unsafe practices in these situations include not using guardrails, harnesses, or other fall protection measures. Sometimes workers may feel pressured to cut corners or may not be aware of the hazards. That's why it's so important to always ensure that edges are properly protected before starting work. Remember, the key is to always identify unprotected edges and implement appropriate safety controls. This not only protects you but also your colleagues. Working at height demands vigilance and adherence to safety standards to prevent accidents. Ultimately, the safest work environment is one where everyone understands these risks and actively practices safe working methods. Let's keep safety at the forefront and look out for unprotected edges at all times. On this slide, we see several critical safety issues that highlight unsafe practices when working at height. First, notice that the lanyard is missing. This might seem like a small detail, but it's actually a vital piece of fall protection equipment. Without it, there's nothing to prevent a fall if someone slips or loses their balance. Next, we see that there is no fall protection in place, which is a serious concern. Fall protection is not optional. It's a fundamental safety requirement whenever working at height. Then, we see an improperly designed or substandard access ladder. Using an inadequate ladder can lead to slips, trips, or falls, especially if it's not maintained or built to proper standards. Another point is standing on a substandard working platform. This might seem convenient at the moment, but if the platform isn't designed or maintained properly, it can collapse or become unstable, putting everyone at risk. Finally, working without proper scaffolding platforms is another dangerous practice. Proper scaffolding provides a stable and secure surface to work from, reducing the risk of falls and injuries. Overall, these points emphasize the importance of following proper procedures and using appropriate equipment when working at height. Unsafe practices like these increase the risk of serious accidents, so always prioritize safety and adhere to established standards. Have you ever known someone who has fallen from a height? Maybe a coworker or even yourself. It's a serious reminder of how dangerous working at heights can be. Today, I want to encourage you to share any personal experiences you might have with falls or unsafe practices. By doing so, we can learn from real-life situations and better understand what to avoid. Working at height involves many risks, and unsafe practices are often the root cause of accidents. These include not using proper fall protection equipment, rushing through tasks, or neglecting safety procedures. It's crucial that we recognize these hazards and always follow safety protocols to prevent falls. Remember, safety isn't just about following rules, it's about protecting ourselves and others. So I urge everyone to stay vigilant, speak up about unsafe practices, and make safety a priority in every job at height. Now, let's talk about training and competency when working at height. It's essential that all personnel involved receive proper training before starting any work. This helps ensure everyone understands the risks and knows how to work safely. But training alone isn't enough. We also need to check that each person is competent to perform their specific tasks. This competency check should happen before they begin work to ensure safety and effectiveness. Moving on to supervision, a supervisor must always be present during the work. Their role is crucial in overseeing the job and making sure everything runs smoothly. The supervisor should verify that all personnel involved are not only trained, but also competent to carry out their roles safely. Additionally, it's important to conduct a SDARRT briefing before starting. This briefing covers safety procedures and ensures everyone is on the same page. And finally, we need to make sure that a valid permit to work, or PTW, is in place. This document confirms that all safety measures are in place and approved before work begins. In summary, thorough training, competent personnel, proper supervision, safety briefings, and valid permits are all key control measures to keep everyone safe when working at height. All right, let's talk about fall protection. It's crucial to make sure that any working platform or the edge of a surface is properly protected to prevent falls. This means we need to have barriers in place that can stop someone from accidentally stepping off. Specifically, we should provide a handrail, a mid-rail, and a toe board. The handrail gives support at an accessible height, the mid-rail adds an extra layer of protection in the middle, and the toe board prevents tools or materials from falling off the edge. These control measures are all about creating a safer environment and reducing the risk of falls, which is a key part of overall safety in any worksite. Always remember, implementing these protections isn't just about compliance, it's about protecting ourselves and our coworkers. All right, let's talk about hole protection. It's crucial to cover all openings with steel plates or hard plywood to create a sturdy barrier. This helps ensure the safety of all personnel, tools, and materials around those areas. For any holes or gaps larger than 2 square inches, we need to take extra precautions to prevent any materials or tools from falling through. It's all about preventing accidents before they happen. Remember, these control measures are key to maintaining a safe work environment. By properly covering and protecting openings, we reduce the risk of injuries or equipment damage. It's a simple step, but it makes a huge difference in overall safety. Today, I want to talk about safety nets, which are a crucial part of our safety control measures. Specifically, we'll focus on personnel nets and material or debris protection nets. These nets serve as a safety barrier to protect workers and prevent falling objects from causing injuries or damage. Personnel nets are installed to catch workers if they fall, providing a secure environment at heights. Meanwhile, material or debris protection nets are used to catch falling debris or tools, keeping the worksite safe and minimizing hazards for everyone below. It's important to recognize that these nets are a control measure, meaning they are a proactive step to prevent accidents before they happen. They're essential components in our overall safety strategy, especially in high-risk areas. By implementing these nets properly, we can significantly reduce the risk of serious injuries. They are vital for maintaining a safe working environment, supporting our broader goal of accident prevention and safety excellence on the job site. All right, let's talk about tools and material fall protection. First, it's crucial to always tie all tools when working at height. This simple step can prevent tools from falling and causing injuries or damage below. Next, make sure to keep your tools in a bag or box when you're not using them. This helps prevent accidental drops and keeps your work area organized. Additionally, materials should always be stored in a secured place. Proper storage minimizes the risk of materials falling or being knocked over. Overall, these control measures are designed to protect everyone on site by reducing fall hazards related to tools and materials. It's all about being proactive and ensuring safety isn't overlooked at any stage of your work. Today, I want to emphasize the importance of ladder safety. First, all ladders should always be free from damage. It's crucial to inspect them regularly and ensure they are properly tagged if they've been checked. This helps us quickly identify any issues before use. Next, when it comes to straight ladders, proper installation is key. Make sure they are correctly installed, footed securely, or tied off to prevent slipping or tipping over. Stability is essential for safety. And remember, the correct angle for installing a ladder is about 75 degrees. That's roughly a ratio of 1:4, meaning for every 4 units of length along the ground, the ladder should rise about 1 unit. This angle provides a good balance between stability and ease of climbing. These control measures are designed to reduce risk and keep everyone safe while working at heights. Ensuring proper inspection, correct installation, and the right angle are simple steps that make a big difference. Let's talk about ladder safety. First, it's crucial to keep ladders in a safe condition. Regularly inspect them for any damage or wear. Also, make sure the area around the ladder is clear of any obstacles or debris to prevent tripping or knocking the ladder over. When setting up, check that all rungs, cleats, and steps are level and free from damage. This ensures stability when you're climbing. Always keep the ladder free of slipping hazards, like oil or loose debris, to prevent falls. And remember, ladders should only be used for their intended purpose. They are designed for climbing and reaching heights, not as workbenches or platforms. Now, on the flip side, there are some don'ts to be aware of. For example, don't tie ladders together to make longer sections unless they are specifically designed for that purpose. Using them in ways they weren't meant for can be very dangerous. Also, avoid using A-frame ladders as straight ladders. They're not built for that and can become unstable. And finally, never use a ladder as a working platform. If you need a stable platform for work, use the proper scaffolding or work platform instead. The key takeaway here is to always prioritize safety by using ladders properly and inspecting them regularly. This way, we minimize risks and keep everyone safe while working at heights. Now, let's talk about scaffolding in general. First and foremost, only certified scaffolders are authorized to erect, dismantle, or modify scaffolding. This ensures that all work is done safely and correctly. When setting up scaffolds, they must be placed on firm and level ground to prevent any instability. It's essential that all scaffolds have full boarded platforms, providing a safe working surface for everyone. Additionally, scaffolds must be equipped with double guardrails and toe boards to prevent falls and tools or materials from falling off. During the erection process, the area around the scaffolding should be barricaded off, and warning signs should be clearly posted to alert others of the work in progress. Before any use, the scaffolds must be inspected by a certified inspector, and the scaff tag system should be used to document and verify the inspection. These control measures are all about maintaining safety and ensuring that scaffolding is secure and compliant with safety standards. Remember, proper setup and inspection are key to preventing accidents and injuries on site. Let's take a closer look at some key aspects of safe scaffolding. First, you'll notice that the ladder should always be secured properly, typically using a metal clamp or rope. This helps prevent slipping or falling when ascending or descending. Access to the scaffold itself needs to be safe and secure, ensuring workers can get on and off without risk. The base plates are fundamental. They provide stability and support for the entire scaffold structure. You should also see the green scaff tag, which is used for quick visual inspection and to confirm that the scaffold has been checked and is safe to use. When working on a full platform, it's essential to have toe boards installed to prevent tools or materials from falling off. The mid-rail and top rail are equally important. They act as guardrails to prevent accidental falls from the sides and top of the scaffold. Overall, these elements come together as part of our control measures for safe scaffolding. Properly securing, inspecting, and maintaining these features not only protects workers, but also ensures compliance with safety standards. Remember, safety is a shared responsibility, and understanding these components helps us all work more safely and efficiently. Now, let's talk about the tagging system for scaffolds. First, you'll notice the red tag, which clearly indicates "Do not use." This means that the scaffold is unsafe or not ready for use and should be avoided at all costs. It's a visual cue that something needs to be addressed before anyone can safely work on it. On the other hand, the green tag signifies "safe to use." When you see this, it means the scaffold has been inspected and approved for work. It's a green light, so to speak, that the scaffold is in good condition and ready for use. It's important to understand that scaffolds must be inspected by a certified inspector before they are used. This inspection ensures that everything is in proper order, no loose parts, proper stability, and compliance with safety standards. And to help manage this process, we use the scaff tag system. This system provides a clear, standardized way to communicate the status of each scaffold. The tags are a simple but effective control measure, making it easy to see at a glance whether a scaffold is safe or needs attention. In summary, always check the tags before using a scaffold. Ensure inspections are done by certified personnel and rely on the SCAF tag system to maintain a safe working environment. This approach keeps safety front and center and helps us prevent accidents before they happen. Let's take a moment to discuss scaffolding and some of the unsafe practices to watch out for. Scaffolding is essential for many construction tasks, but if not used correctly, it can pose serious safety risks. The key points here include understanding the importance of proper setup and inspection. Always ensure scaffolding is stable, secure, and correctly assembled before use. Avoid unsafe practices like overloading the scaffold, removing guardrails, or using damaged components. Remember, safety is a shared responsibility, and paying attention to these details helps prevent accidents. This ties into our overall theme of maintaining a safe work environment. Every precaution counts. Today, I want to talk about some critical safety points for working on mobile scaffolds. First, it's essential that any mobile scaffold is erected only by trained scaffolders. This ensures the structure is safe and stable from the start. Next, the supporting ground must be firm and level. If the surface is uneven or soft, the scaffold could become unstable, which is a serious hazard. Also, the height-to-base ratio plays a key role. It should be less than 3:1. This ratio helps prevent tipping over, especially when the scaffold is extended vertically. Another important point is that outriggers should be installed on both sides of the scaffold. These outriggers provide extra stability, making sure the structure stays secure even when in use. You'll also notice the green SCAF tag. This tag indicates that the scaffold has been inspected and is safe to use. Always make sure this is present before starting work. Finally, wheels must be locked when the scaffold is in use. This prevents any accidental movement that could lead to falls or other accidents. And remember, no mobile tower should be moved while people are working on it. Moving a scaffold with workers on board is extremely dangerous and should never happen. These control measures are all about keeping us safe and ensuring that our work at height is done responsibly. Let's talk about operating mobile elevated working platforms, or MEWPs. First and foremost, never operate any machine unless you are specifically authorized, licensed, or certified to handle that type of equipment. Safety starts with ensuring only qualified personnel are behind the controls. It's also crucial that all operators perform a thorough inspection of the machine before starting work each day. This helps identify any issues early and prevents accidents. Remember, never leave a machine running when you exit the cab. Turn it off to avoid unintended movement or hazards. Be aware of your surroundings, especially the line of fire. That's the path where the machine or its loads could potentially cause injury. Stay clear of this zone to protect yourself. Additionally, always keep out of the exclusion zones that are established around the work area, as these are designated for safety reasons to prevent accidental entry. Routine maintenance of equipment is essential. It keeps everything in good working order and reduces the risk of failure or accidents. When outside the cab, always wear full personal protective equipment. This includes helmets, harnesses, gloves, and any other necessary gear. And finally, when moving plant or equipment, ensure it is escorted by a trained banksman. This person helps guide the movement safely, preventing collisions or other incidents. All these measures are interconnected and reinforce the overall safety culture we need when working with mobile plant equipment. Today, I want to focus on control measures related to mobile elevated work platforms, or MEWPs. These are essential tools for working at heights safely and efficiently. When we talk about MEWPs, we're referring to equipment like cherry pickers, boom lifts, and scissor lifts. The key point here is that proper control measures must be in place to prevent accidents and ensure safety. This includes thorough training for all operators, regular maintenance checks, and proper planning before use. It's also crucial to assess the work environment for hazards, such as overhead obstacles or unstable ground. Remember, the goal is to minimize risks by implementing effective control measures, making sure everyone understands how to operate MEWPs safely. Connecting this to the overall theme, it's about creating a safety-first culture when working at height, and MEWPs are just one part of that comprehensive approach. All right, let's talk about signs and barriers. It's really crucial to have the right signs and barriers in place to prevent unauthorized entry into hazardous areas. These visual warnings are often the first line of defense, alerting people to potential dangers and keeping them away from risky zones. When we talk about control measures, the key point is ensuring that these signs are clear, visible, and appropriately placed. Barriers should be sturdy and effective at physically restricting access where needed. Together, signs and barriers form an essential part of our overall safety strategy, helping us to control access and protect everyone on site. Remember, the goal is to clearly communicate risks and prevent accidents before they happen. Let's take a look at the personnel protective equipment, or PPE, that's essential for ensuring safety on site. First, we have the helmet with chin strip, which is crucial for protecting your head from falling objects or bumps. It's important that the chin strap is secure to keep the helmet in place at all times. Next, a full body harness with a double lanyard is key for fall protection, especially when working at heights. This setup provides added safety and stability. Wearing a high-visibility vest helps ensure that you are easily seen by others, reducing the risk of accidents. Hand gloves are necessary to protect your hands from cuts, abrasions, or exposure to harmful substances. Safety shoes are also vital. These should be sturdy and provide good grip to prevent slips and protect your feet from impact. Safety goggles shield your eyes from dust, debris, or chemical splashes, while earplugs are used when noise levels are high, helping to prevent hearing damage. Lastly, a face shield can be required for certain tasks, offering additional protection to your face from sparks, splashes, or flying particles. Overall, these PPE items are designed to minimize risk and keep you safe while performing your tasks. Remember, using the correct equipment and control measures is a fundamental part of maintaining a safe work environment. On this slide, we're focusing on the area around power lines, which is called the absolute limit of approach. This is a critical safety zone that you must never enter with any crane boom or load line unless the power line has been properly de-energized, insulated, or isolated. The size of this limit depends on the voltage of the power line. For lines up to 25,000 volts, the minimum safe distance is 30 feet, or about 9 meters. For lines over 25,000 volts, the safe distance increases to at least 50 feet or 15 meters. Once you've identified the voltage of the line you're working near, it's essential to set up height-restricting facilities, often called goal posts, on both sides of the line. These act as visual indicators to ensure that everyone maintains the safe working distance. Understanding and respecting these limits is vital for safety and avoiding electrical contact or arcs. Always remember, these boundaries are there to protect you, your team, and the work environment. Connecting this to our overall safety theme, it's about proactive measures to prevent accidents before they happen. Now, let's talk about working safely at height, specifically when using ladders. It's crucial to always face the ladder and maintain 3 points of contact at all times. That means, whether you're climbing up or down, you should keep 2 hands and 1 foot, or 2 feet and 1 hand, touching the ladder. This helps you stay stable and reduces the risk of slipping or falling. Remember, staying facing the ladder provides better control and awareness of your surroundings. These simple but important practices are key to preventing accidents and ensuring your safety when working at height. Keep this in mind as part of your overall safe working practices. Today, I want to talk about suspension trauma, also known as harness hang syndrome or orthostatic intolerance. This is a condition that can happen when a person is held upright without moving for a period of time. Essentially, if someone is trapped in a harness or tied to an upright object and remains still, their body can start to react negatively. The key point here is the central ischemic response, which is more commonly called fainting. When this occurs, the brain isn't getting enough oxygen because blood flow is restricted. If the person faints but stays upright, the lack of oxygen to the brain can become life-threatening and may eventually lead to death. So the main takeaway is that suspension trauma isn't just uncomfortable. It can be deadly if not addressed promptly. It highlights the importance of proper rescue procedures and timely intervention to prevent serious consequences. Connecting this to our overall focus on safety, it reminds us how critical it is to understand these risks and act swiftly in rescue situations. Onset of symptoms may be just after a few minutes, but usually occurs after at least 20 minutes of free hanging. Typical symptoms include pallor, sweating, shortness of breath, blurred vision, dizziness, nausea, hypotension, and numbness of the legs. These signs are important because they indicate the body's response to suspension and blood flow restrictions. Eventually, if not addressed, these symptoms can lead to fainting, which may result in death due to oxygen deprivation of the brain. This condition is known as suspension trauma, and understanding it is crucial for safety in work at heights. It highlights the importance of quick rescue and proper suspension techniques to prevent serious health consequences. If you find yourself accidentally falling and becoming suspended, there are several important things to keep in mind. First, try to avoid moving your legs unnecessarily, as this can increase your risk of injury. Instead, lift your knees into a sitting position to help stabilize yourself. It's also crucial to relax as much as possible because panicking can make the situation worse and drain your energy faster. If you're able to, every few minutes, try to swing yourself gently to reach any nearby structure or support that might help you regain stability or assist in rescue. Now, if you're trapped and cannot move at all, do your best to strain your leg muscles as hard as you can every 5 seconds. This can help promote circulation and prevent blood pooling. Remember to breathe slowly and deeply to stay as calm as possible because oxygen can be vital in such critical moments. Most importantly, if you're in this situation, you need rescue as quickly as possible, so make your distress known. Using the buddy system, having 2 people involved, is essential for safety and effective rescue. And a quick note, while suspension trauma is rare, it's a serious risk that can happen to anyone. That's why, at work, it's the employer's responsibility to manage and mitigate these risks to keep everyone safe. When a fall arrest system has been used once to arrest a fall, it's crucial to treat it with care. First, all the items involved must be tagged and taken out of service immediately. This step helps ensure no one uses a potentially compromised piece of equipment unknowingly. Then, before considering reuse, the entire system should be re-inspected by an authorized person. This inspection is vital because the system may have sustained damage during the fall that isn't visible at first glance. Remember, safety always comes first, so never skip this step. The key point here is that a fall arrest system, once used, cannot be simply reused without proper inspection to ensure it's still reliable. This process helps protect workers and maintain a safe working environment. Always follow these procedures to ensure your fall arrest system continues to do its job effectively and keeps everyone safe. Let's go through the inspection points for the full body harness, starting with the D-ring. It's crucial to check that there is no distortion, no cracks, and no rough edges. These issues can compromise the integrity of the harness and safety during use. Additionally, the D-ring must hold in place securely without any damage, ensuring it functions properly when needed. Moving on to the clips and keepers, ensure that there are no distorted metal clips or keepers, as deformation can affect their locking mechanism. Check for sharp edges on the clips. These can cause damage to the webbing or pose a safety risk. Also, verify that all plastic keepers are in their proper place, with 2 per strap, to maintain proper positioning and function. Next, the webbing itself needs careful inspection. Look for any cuts, fraying, or broken stitching that could weaken the harness. Also, check for any damage caused by chemicals or heat, which can compromise the webbing's strength. Discoloration, brittleness, or melted areas are signs of deterioration, and those parts should be replaced immediately. Now, let's look at the manufacturer's tag. It should be less than 5 years old, indicating the harness is still within its safe usage period. Make sure the harness has the ID number printed on the tag, which helps with tracking and verification. Finally, revisit the D-ring to confirm there's no damage and that it's securely holding the ring in place. If any of these points are not met, the harness should not be used until it's properly repaired or replaced. Regular, thorough inspections like this keep safety at the forefront and help prevent accidents before they happen. Let's go over some important points for inspecting full-body harnesses. First, note that harnesses and lanyards should not be reused until they've been properly repaired by the manufacturer. If you find one that needs repairs, remove it and place it in a safe location, attaching a warning notice to prevent accidental use. For harnesses that are no longer usable, always cut them up to prevent any chance of reuse. When it comes to clips and carabiners, make sure they require double action, meaning 2 movements to open, so they're secure. They should move freely without sticking, and there should be no excessive rust that might compromise their strength. Check the manufacturer's tag. It must be in place, legible, and less than 5 years old. Also, verify the harness ID number to ensure traceability. For fall arrest packs, examine the stitching. Make sure it's intact and undamaged. The pack itself should show no signs of damage, and there should be no color coding on the absorbing component, as that could indicate misuse or damage. Inspect the webbing thoroughly. Look for cuts, burns, fraying, broken stitching, or any other damage. Also, check for chemical or heat damage, discoloration, brittleness, or melted webbing, all signs that the harness may no longer be safe. Finally, a full-body harness inspection should be comprehensive. Always ensure the stitching is undamaged, the pack is intact, and the webbing is in perfect condition. Remember, a thorough inspection like this is crucial for safety, and always connect these checks back to the overall theme of maintaining safety standards in the workplace. On this slide, we're focusing on the roles and responsibilities of supervisors when working at height. First, it's essential to ensure that a permit for cold work is obtained and in place before starting any job. This helps us confirm that all safety measures are considered up front. Next, conducting a SDARRT briefing is crucial. It's a quick but comprehensive way to review the task, identify hazards, and clarify safety procedures with the team. Supervisors should also conduct daily inspections of the work area to spot any hazards early. Providing a proper working platform is vital for stability and safety, and safe access and egress must be ensured so workers can move in and out securely. Before work begins at height, we need to confirm that all workers have received the necessary training. This includes understanding how to use safety equipment correctly. Speaking of equipment, safety harnesses must be inspected regularly, and proper color coding should be maintained for easy identification. Using the correct lanyard is also critical. This ensures that the harness is secured properly. Supervisors must verify that workers are wearing their harnesses correctly and that they are tied off at secure points to prevent falls. Hard barricading should be installed around open shafts and holes to prevent accidental falls or entries. And, of course, clear signage is necessary to warn and inform everyone about potential hazards in the area. All these responsibilities are interconnected and form the backbone of a safe working environment at height. By following these steps, we're not just complying with regulations, we're actively protecting ourselves and our team from preventable accidents. On this slide, we see the key steps to follow in an emergency situation. First, if you witness an incident, you should report immediately to the site supervisor or call the 24-hour HSE duty phone. It's crucial to raise the alarm and have the service team call for a first aider or nurse to attend the scene promptly. First aiders are there to respond and assist with any casualties, so their quick action can make a significant difference. The supervisor's role is critical too. They need to call for additional assistance, stop all work, and ensure the area is made safe. The supervisor should also arrange for first aiders to assist the casualty, send someone to the meeting point, and make sure access routes are clear. Managing the crowd is essential to keep the scene safe, and the supervisor must identify and note witnesses. It's important that the supervisor makes themselves known to the emergency response team, so everyone knows who's in charge. A quick note. Remember, the permit for work is canceled until it's revalidated by the HSE department to ensure safety protocols are maintained. Finally, always keep in mind these emergency procedures are designed to protect everyone and ensure a swift, coordinated response. Now, let's discuss the key responsibilities of the emergency response team during an incident. First, it's essential that all emergency response teams report directly to the Area Emergency Management Team Leader. This ensures clear communication and coordination. Their primary role is to try to control any emergency situation within their designated area. This might include mitigating hazards or preventing escalation. Additionally, they need to arrange for first aiders to assist any casualties. Providing immediate medical support can be crucial in such situations. In the event of an evacuation, the team must order all personnel to evacuate promptly and safely. After everyone is out, they should conduct a thorough search to ensure no one is left behind. It's also vital to record the locations of anyone who cannot evacuate and pass this information to the Area Emergency Management Team Leader. This helps coordinate rescue efforts and ensures everyone's safety. Overall, these procedures are designed to keep everyone safe, minimize damage, and ensure a swift, organized response during emergencies. Let's review some key points about working at height. First, what are the main hazards you should be aware of? Well, falling is obviously the biggest risk, but there are others like falling objects, slips, trips, and falls due to unstable surfaces. It's essential to identify these hazards beforehand to prevent accidents. Next, let's consider the responsibilities during an emergency. The supervisor's role is crucial. They need to coordinate the response, ensure everyone is safe, and communicate effectively. The witness also has important duties, such as alerting emergency services promptly and providing accurate information about what happened. Now, regarding anchor points, what should their position be? Anchor points must be secure, stable, and properly positioned to support the fall arrest system. They should be directly above the worker whenever possible to minimize the fall distance and reduce injury risk. Finally, if the fall arrest system has been used once to arrest a fall, what should we do? It's critical to remove the system from service immediately, inspect it thoroughly for any damage, and replace or repair it before the next use. Safety always comes first, and proper maintenance of fall protection equipment is vital to prevent future incidents. That wraps up our review. Remember these points as part of your overall safety approach when working at height. Let's take a moment to discuss some closing thoughts. As we wrap up, I want to emphasize the importance of understanding the key points we've covered throughout this presentation. It's not just about absorbing information, but about seeing how these concepts connect to the bigger picture. Remember, the goal is to apply this knowledge effectively in real-world scenarios. So, keep in mind the core ideas we've discussed, stay engaged, and consider how they relate to your own work. This final slide is really about reinforcing what we've learned and encouraging you to think critically about the next steps. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to seeing how you put these insights into practice.